Hello and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Wednesday the 13th of January. In the news today, Mike Pence has refused to employ the 25th Amendment of the US, trying to chuck out Mr. T. The Democrats are trying to impeach him for the second time. Of course, should have worked the first time, so it's anybody's guess if it worked the second time or not. Anyway, there are still some days left before the big man is out of the big house. Whether he's put into some other kind of house, we are yet to know. But now let's put all of that stuff out of our heads as we consider our Sudoku. Let's be Zen about it, and today's given level is medium. I have no idea what medium entails, really, to be honest with you. I don't know if they just count how many digits are on the grid, or if they actually give it to people to try and see how difficult it is. I'm not sure how they define levels, but we'll say that if you're an absolute beginner, it may be a bit tough. If you're a super expert, it may be a walk in the park. But however it is for you, let's try it anyway and find out, right? We don't know. I have no idea until we try it. So just a quick recap of the rules in case we have any beginners here. You can see a large grid and divided into 9 segments here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, 9. And within each segment, you can see there are 9 squares. 1, 2, 4, and 9 is given in this square, in this region here. And that means we have 4 numbers, but there are 5 digits missing that we have to fill in, and those should be the consecutive numbers between 1 and 9. So 1, 2, 3 is missing, 4 we have, 5, 6, 7, 8 need to be filled in, 9 we already have, and the same for each. The other thing to remember is that these columns coming down, each of the columns must have 1 to 9, and each of the rows must also have 1 to 9, and that is the rule. Those are the rules of Sudoku. It's a fairly simple concept to get your head around. When you begin playing, it's not quite as easy as it seems at first. Some people try to guess when they're beginners, which is not a good idea, but you'll find the more you involve yourself in the logic of the game, the more beautiful it becomes, and it is a beautiful game, weirdly enough. People think I'm weird for saying that, but I do find it that. I'm sure fellow Sudokists, whatever the adjective, whatever the noun is for those people who play Sudoku, I'm sure you'll agree with me. So what I normally do is just look for numbers that fly up and hit me in the face. And first of all, I don't know, there's a lot of activity around here. I can see a couple of 6s that are staring me in the face and pointing down to where there are numbers, and so I'm going to just extend these 6s down and see if there is any help. Yes, so what we're doing is we are seeing some numbers and seeing how they might help us. So I can see there's a 6 in this column here, and that means 6 can only appear 1 time in this column. There's also a 6 in this column here. I mean, it's in that row and in that column, in that row and that column. But for the moment, we're looking at these columns, and I can see it coming down and coming down. So that means that this square and this square must be blocked, and this square and this square must be blocked from being a 6. So there are no 6s here, 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 or here, leaving only this one position where a 6 can go. So we're going to write in number. We'll put it in a big heavy pen because we're sure that that's the answer. We're not taking a guess here. We know that that's the answer. Something else that's hitting my eye are 9s. I can see a 9 coming up this column here and a 9 coming down this column here. So blocking, blocking. Okay, can't be any of these, can't be any of these. But also there's a 9 in this row here, nicely coming along and blocking here. Excuse the reversing vehicle if you can hear that. So 9 is blocking, blocking, blocking. There's only one possible location for 9. We can fill that in because we know that that's the correct number. I'm scanning my eyes around the grid And that's what you should do too, because sometimes the easiest numbers will kind of jump up at you. I can see 4s in this row here, blocking this central row here, and I can see 4s here, a 4 here, blocking this row here. So blocked, blocked. But there's also a 4 right at the bottom of this column, which is blocking here. Okay, so blocked, blocked, and blocked. So this has to be a 4. We can fill in that 4 there. I can see a 2 in this row here, blocking this entire row like so. And I can also see a 2 in this column, which blocks this column from having any 2s. So we are blocked here and blocked here. That means there's only one possible location for 2. It has to fit here. I hope you understand the logic. Now that we've just filled in a 2, we can in fact just look around and see if that helps us in any way. And I see that it does, because now if we extend this 2 down this column like this, we can see there aren't any 2s here. This 2, well, there aren't any 2s here already, we know that. But there's also a 2 in this row here, which goes across blocking the top like this. So if we consider blocked from being 2, blocked from being 2, blocked and blocked, only one position a 2 can go. It has to fit here like so. Got that? I can see 3s. I can see a 3 here going across this row, blocking that square. I can see a 3 in this row here, blocking those 2 squares. So blocked here and blocked here. But there's also a 3, I hope you noticed, in this column here, extending up. So blocked and blocked and blocked. Only possible position for a 3 here is in that location there. Okay. I'm just casting my eye around looking for any gimmies, any numbers that appear to be very easy. Sometimes they're there, but you just don't notice. Okay. So I can see a 9 now. Now that we've got rid of this 2. In fact, even before then, we could have got this 9, because there's a 9 here, which extends along this row here, blocking that. 9. That's the only, well, then there's only one remaining square anyway. So we can fill in a 9 here. There are 2 squares missing, yet to be filled in. We can find out what they are just by going through the numbers, counting through the series and seeing what's missing. Do we have a 1? No, but we know it has to appear in this segment. Do we have a 2? No, not in this segment. So the missing numbers are, sorry, we do have a 2. I apologize. We don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we have a 5? No, we don't have a 5. So it's 1 and 5 that are missing. And we check up the columns. Is anything interrupting our 1 or a 5? Do we have a 1 or a 5 that intersects? The answer is no. So we're going to fill in those numbers 1 and 5. And these numbers are called candidates. It means that they could possibly go there, and they can't go anywhere else. Or rather, no other numbers can fit there either. So we'll just fill that pair in. Okay. Next, let's maybe look at this region here. I can see 1s coming down and blocking this column here. So there are 2 possible locations. Okay, 1s block this, so their possible locations are here or here. We know that there's no 1s or 5s, no 1s, sorry, that are intersecting. We don't know. So I'm going to write those candidates in 1 like that. I can see, okay, we have 1, 2, 3. Do we have a 4? No, we don't. But we do have a 4 in this column, which extends up. This 4 from the bottom goes up in this column and blocks 4 from appearing here. We also have a 4 in this column here coming down and blocking this here. So blocked, blocked, there's only one position, and that means the 4 has to appear here. Now, since we know that we just had a pair of locations for 1, we can immediately fill in this 1 because now that is the only possible location. And previously we had a pair of candidates 1 and 5 in these two squares. We know now that this cannot be a 1, it has to be a 5, and this has to be a 1 because 1 blocks this from becoming a 1 there. So that's 5 and that's 1. We can find this missing number by, there's only one number missing from this column, so we can count through the numbers to find out what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do we have an 8? No, we don't have an 8 anywhere, so we do have a 9, and so 8 is the missing number. We can fill that in. Let's come back to this region now. What's missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is missing. 6, 7, 8 is missing too. So missing numbers are 5 and 8. 5 and 8. But we can see there's an 8 across in this row blocking an 8 from being there. And so 8 has to appear here. 5 has to appear here, like so. Okay, there is only one number missing here, so we can find out what it is. Whenever you see a row or a column or a segment with only one number missing, you can find out what it is. Just cycle through the numbers, count through the numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we have 5? Nope, we don't have 5. And if we want to check, we've got 5 and 5 here and here. No 5 here yet. So yes, that is in fact a 5. Okay, here's a slightly, okay, it's good to keep moving your eyes around the field as well. Very quickly, I should just fill in these numbers quickly, okay. So what's missing? It's 7 and 9. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no, 8, yes, 9, no. So 7 and 9. Is anything blocking? No, nothing blocking. So we're going to write in our pair of numbers, 7 and 9, those are our candidates. Now I noticed something, okay, when you get to a slightly higher level of Sudoku, you can sometimes see, look ahead, a bit like you do in chess, without actually filling in the candidates. I noticed there's a 5 in this column here, right, blocking that. I noticed there's a 5 here. Now I could write in the candidates 5 and 5 here, but I'm just going to keep them in my head for the moment. I could write them in, it doesn't matter, but I'm just going to keep them in my head. I normally just keep them in my head for the moment, just because it's quicker for me. Now I know then that 5 and 5 has to appear in this column here. 5 or 5 is here or here, and I know that we can't tell which is which. But then when I extend that down, I know that 5 can't appear in this column here. But I can also see various other 5s around. Okay, I can see a 5 here blocking this. So first of all, we are limited to the central column only. But I can see a 5 here extending across this row and a 5 extending across this row. So that's the only possible location for a 5. So sometimes you don't actually need to write in the candidates. You know, the fewer candidates that you can write in, the better. It just keeps it neater and easier to see, especially when you get to the end game. So if you can do the puzzle by filling in as few candidates as possible, then I recommend that's the way to do it. Okay, I can see a 4 extending down here now, and a 4 up here, or in fact there's a 4 across this row here. So blocking and blocking, the only possible location for 4 has to be here. So okay. Again, just like casting my eye around looking for stuff. Okay, so here I can see, okay, there are 4 remaining squares here. The first 2 numbers are missing. 1 and 2 are not here in this region, but 1 and 2 are in the same row here, which blocks this row. So if you consider 1 and 2 are both blocked from here, from these 2 squares, leaving only 2 squares left. There's no 1 here, there's no 2 here, so 1 and 2 have to be here. This has to be a pair, and it can't be anything else. It has to be 1 or 2. No other numbers are possible. So what numbers are left in this region? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no, 8, yes, 9, no. So the missing numbers in these two squares have to be 7 and 9. And since this 7 is very close, I think it's easy for you to see that 7 can't come here. 7 has to be here. And ergo, as they used to say, the 9 must go there. So okay. Alright, I don't see anything else that's smacking me in the face right now. So I shall just continue on looking for candidates in a slightly more methodical way. Alright, let's just try this region over here now. So we've got 1s coming down blocking this central area, and 1s across this row here. Blocked. So there are 3, 1, 2, 3 possible locations for candidate 1. Excuse me. Now, I tend to put these in the bottom right hand area of the square. I put a pair in the top left. If there are only 2 candidates, I put it in the top left. If there are more than 2 locations, I put it in the bottom right. That makes things a lot easier, I find. And I think you'll find that too if you play for a while. Okay, 2. 2 is blocked from here. 2 is also blocked from here. So 2 blocking this column, 2 blocking that column, and a 2 in that row. So blocked, and blocked, and blocked. Only 1 location for 2. We can put it in here. And if we come back and look and see what we did before with this pair of numbers here, we can see that we had 2 or 1 as an exclusive pair. It's only 2 or 1, nothing else here. It can't be the 2 now, can it? It has to be a 1. And also that square we know has to be 2 from just a simple process of elimination. Right now we are 1 square missing here, so we can find out what that is. 1, 2, 3. Do we have a 4? No, there's no 4 in this row here, so that must be the missing number. We can fill that in. Now our 1s are a pair, so in my own system of doing things, I'm going to promote these to the top left, cross them out in the bottom, and promote them to the top left so that I know that's a pair of numbers. I find this makes things a lot easier. Okay, what's the other number missing from here? It's in fact a 7. 7s are missing. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No 7s. Are there any 7s telling us? No. So this is a pair. It's a 1 and 7 pair. And we can know what numbers are missing here as well if we just work through. 1 we have, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 we don't have, 7, 8 we don't have. So this has to be a 6 or an 8, and we can check that along here as well. 6 and 8 are the missing numbers. Nothing gives us any indication as to which is which. So that's a pair we're going to fill in as candidates like that. Okay. Is there any particular way we should go next? I can't see any particular, I don't have any particular preference as to where we go next. So we'll just choose any region or any segment and try filling the numbers in, I think, since I don't see anything as really standing out. Okay. Alright, let's come down here. So how do we fill in these candidates? So let's see. So let's just go through the numbers then. So first of all, 1 is missing from this segment here. We have a 1 here, which is blocking this column here. There's also a 1 here, but that number's already being blocked by that 1. So there are 3 possible locations for 1. 1 can be here, here, or here. 2, well, 2 is being blocked along this row from here, and 2 is also along here blocking this row. So blocked, blocked, blocked that way. 2 is a pair of numbers, so I'm going to put them in the top left, like so. 3 is blocking this column here, and 3 is also in this row blocking here. So there are in fact 2 possible locations, blocked here, blocked here. So I'm going to put it in the top left, but this time you'll see it's a pair. So not the same position as the 2, but it's still a pair of numbers. Here our 1 and 7 was an exclusive pair, 1 or 7. 2, this could be 2 or 3, this could be 2, this could be 3. We can't tell which is which just yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, 6 is blocking, being blocked along here, and 6 is blocking along here, so blocked and blocked. There are 2 possible locations for 6. It's a pair again. 6 can be here or here, like so. 7 we have already. 8s are being blocked along this central row from this 8 here. Now there are 3 possible locations for 8, so we'll fill those in now. That's 8 can be here, here, or here, like that. 9 we have already. So now if we can just double check we've got all of our numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that's looking good. Now we could go along here, we can go along here. I think it doesn't really matter which is the right way to do it, but let's see. So let's see now. 1 is blocked from here along this central column here. 1 is blocked here, but that number's already blocked. So possible locations are here, here, or here. It's not, 1 is not blocking here, remember, because 1 is not a pair. 1 is in 3 possible locations. So 1 can go here, here, and here. 2 we have already. 3 is blocking this column here. This one is blocking here. And 3 over here is blocking this top square here. So blocked and blocked. Anything else? No. So there are 4 possible locations for 3. Now it could come here, here, or here. You might be getting worried and saying, oh, there's an awful lot of candidates. Looks like I'm going to be filling in here. Don't worry. Don't panic. Actually, I've just cast my eye around. As I said to you, and I'm probably saying in many of these videos, don't just get stuck in one location. Keep glancing around. It will help you a lot, and you might see something. Okay. Well, I've noticed something already. Okay, I just happened to see that there are 7s. The number 7 took my eye. I just happened to notice that there are 7s. There's a 7 in this column and there's a 7 in this column, and this row is lacking a 7. So you see this 7 goes up here and this 7 goes up here. Right? So that means 7 is excluded here and here. So what do we know about this row? 7 must come either here or here. We don't know where because we've got 7 and 7 also in this in these columns here, right? So we don't know where it goes, but we know that 7 cannot come here or here or here, so it has to be here or here. I'm actually going to fill that in for you now. I don't need to do it for myself, but I'm just going to do it for you. So we know that 7 must go here or here. It cannot come here. Cannot. Okay? Or here or here. So what do we then know? If we consider down, we know that 7 is not here. We also know that 7 is not here. This is a pair, 6 or 8, right? We see that. It definitely can't be 7. We have actually got 7s intersecting. When we get down to this region here, we can see an intersecting 7 here, and we can see an intersecting 7 here. So blocking 7s here, blocking 7s here, and we know that there is no, so 7 can't come here or here or here or here. So this has to be a 7. So we can make our numbers slightly fewer, our options slightly fewer by doing that. I hope that was clear to you. If it wasn't, just rewind the video and look at it again. Okay, so that's made life a little easier for us because now we can see 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3. 4 extends down this column. 4 also extends down this column here, right? So blocking everything here, blocking everything here. There's a 4 in this row blocking the top number here. And so we know that this has to be our 4. Got it? Blocked 4, blocked 4, 4. 4 has to come here like so. Now, as I've said before about promoting numbers, it can be a good idea to promote numbers when you realize it's a pair. So our 3's now, we lost our 3's here, but we have a pair of 3's. There are only 2 possible locations for 3 now, so I'm going to promote them to the top left corner in my own notation. And that's going to be helpful to us because we can see there are 3, the only possible place for 3's here is in this first column. And we can see a 3 in this last column, and we can see that clearly this column is blocked, this column is blocked, and this region doesn't have a 3 yet, so that has to be a 3. I hope that made sense. Since we're doing this 3, we're going to continue along with it because sometimes when you fill in a number, it helps you out in other places. And this 3 does, because even though there are not many numbers filled in here, you can see that there's a 3 going across this row, a 3 going across this row. So blocked, blocked. There's a 3 in this column here, so blocked here. So blocked, blocked, blocked. One location for 3. We can fill that in right now. We now know that 3 is not here. Now that we've filled in our 3 in this column, we have to remove the candidate, right? So we cross that 3 out, but it was a pair, if you remember, top left, it was a pair, so we can look for the other one, and it was here. So even though we had 6 as part of a pair and 8 as a possible candidate, we know it has to be 3 because that's the only possibility. Now look carefully, we just removed the number 6 here in the top left of this square. The top left of the square means it's an exclusive pair. So because we've removed that 6, we look for the other 6, which is here, and we know that that must be 6. It can't be anything else. Now, in fact, we can see that we have 2 and 1 in this square, 2 and 1 in this square, and 8 and 1 here. Well, we know now that because this has 2 and 1 and this has 2 and 1 and no other numbers, when you have 2 numbers, 2, 1 and 2, 1 in 2 squares and nothing else is possible, that's it. So therefore this one can't stand anymore. So we could remove it, and in fact it has to be an 8. Okay, we can see one missing number here now, and if we check along, we can find the missing number is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 is missing, goes here, 9 we have. So 8 comes up here like so, and luckily for us this pair is very close and easy to see. We know that 8 can't come here now. This has to be 6, and this has to be 8 from our pair of numbers. Okay, right, now back to this. Now actually, because we filled in this 3 now, we have to check on our previous candidates. This 3 is now filled in, so this 3 can't stand, and we'd already promoted that to a pair, and so there's only one possible location for 3 now. It has to come here, like so. So now we have 1 or 1 in here. We can promote that to the top left if we like. Just get rid of it there, make it easier to see. And there's only one other number missing anyway from this box, so the number is 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 we don't have. Are there any 6s telling us? No. So that's a pair. That's a 1 or a 6. A 1 or a 6. And we can check along. Always double check that you're going okay. You've got things in the right order. And we're doing okay so far. Okay, this Sudoku puzzle is taking longer than I expected actually, as for a medium level puzzle. but hopefully you're getting some information from it, some useful information from it. Right, so where do we go next? Well, I guess let's look up here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we have 5? No. 5 is blocking this column here, right? This 5 here is blocking up, if we consider it up. 5 is along the middle. So there are only two possible locations for 5. That's there and there. 6 is here, which is blocking this bottom row, but here or here we can't tell. Nothing intersects along here, so we can fill that in as a pair. 6 and 6. 7, we have the next missing number is 8. 8, there's an 8 here, which blocks this column here. Here we don't know, so there are two possible locations for 8. That's here and here. And 9 we have. So here you can see a 5, 6, 6, 8, 7, 8, 7, 5. So there are only four numbers, and they're in pairs, but they're not exclusive to each other. Later on, that's going to make the puzzle easier to solve, I think, but we'll see later on. Right, there's only one region left to solve now. So we'll just go through the numbers. Let's start with 1. 1 here is clearly at the top row, blocking the top row. 1 is clearly here, blocking the lower row. There's a 1 here, blocking that row. So blocked, blocked, blocked. There are two possible positions for 1. It can come here or here, and that tallies up with what we have below as well. 2. 2 is along this central row here, and this row here blocking and blocking. So can't be in the lower 2 rows here. There is also a 2 here blocking this right hand column, and so 2 has to come here or here, like so. In fact, I've just realized I should have done something else first. This column is missing 2 numbers, so we should really fill in these 2 numbers. We know what they are. We should fill those in first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 we don't have. 9 we have, so 8 we don't have. So this is 7 and 8 as missing numbers here. Okay, 7 and 8 are missing. In fact, we have an intersecting 8 here, so we know that that can't be 8. So 8 must be here, and 7 must be here as the remaining number. And in fact, quite close by, we can see this exclusive pair. We know that can't be a 7 now, so it's a 9, and the 7 goes here. And that will tally up with our exclusive 7s along here, 7, 7. We still don't know which of these is 7, but it works, it fits. Okay, and now we've got 2 numbers missing from this particular row, so we can find out what the missing number is. We know it's a 1 here or here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the other missing number. So 6, this is a 1 or a 6, or 1 or a 6. Let's see if we've got any intersecting numbers. We do. We have a 6 here. We have a 6 here, so we know that 6 cannot come here. So the only possible location for 6 is here, and we know that that leaves just a 1 remaining. If we bring that 1 down to our exclusive pair of 2 and 1 down here, we can see that can't be a 1 now, so it has to be 2, and the 1 is here. If we bring our 2 up, this is the thing, you know, up, down. There's a bit of a seesaw motion often involved in this. If we bring our 2 up and see that that can't be 2 anymore, but we know it was a pair, so we can fill in our 2 here. And remember to remove the candidate. Okay, so our 2 numbers that are missing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is missing, 6 and 9. 5 and 9 are the missing numbers. Do we know which is which? 5 and 9. 5 and 9. No, we don't. Ooh. Okay, this could be trickier than I thought it was going to be. Let's see. Okay, 5 and 9, 5 and 9. Ah. Okay. Right, first step is to make sure that we haven't made any mistakes to this point yet. Okay, and it doesn't look like we have made any mistakes. So that's tricky because there's quite an interesting point of logic left here. Not one where we can easily find the answer either, because usually you can use something like an X-wing to find the answer. I think that's not on the cards here. That's really not possible. Ah, okay, so that's okay. I've seen it now. So in fact, now we have this 8 here, which is blocking this. I was rather worried for a second there that I was going to find something was going to be very difficult, actually. But it's not. In fact, because this 8 has now removed itself as a candidate, right? Okay, we've got an 8 here, so no 8 is possible here. So in fact, it's now very simple. The whole puzzle is solved. That's the end. You'll find this when you get to the more advanced levels. You find that you need one number, and as soon as you have that number, the rest of the puzzle is solved, and that's what we needed. So now we've recognized we can't have an 8 there. Everything else will be simple. 6. 6 is not allowed here. It's 5. 5 is not allowed here. It's 7. 7 is not allowed here. It's 8. 7 is not allowed here. Is 1. 7 must come here. 1 is not allowed here. It goes there. 6 has to be here. 5 can't be here. It has to be here. And 9 is here. So the puzzle is solved. I was almost wondering what kind of puzzle, a trick I was going to need, but didn't need anything in the end. Just double checking. And that's it for the Guardian puzzle today. Hope to see you tomorrow when world peace will be improved. Some hopes. Never mind. See you tomorrow.